Back with Rock Bottom is the New Normal. My name is Bryan. I also have Bryan here. Um, do you just want to? I know you just kind of like filled me in on a little bit, but do you just want to like kind of, I don't know, give a summary, talk as much as you want about yourself? Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
um, it's kind of funny when you first mentioned us, getting together and chatting a little bit. I thought I should probably like put some notes down to kind of see where the conversation goes because I tend to tangent a little bit. So I apologize about that in the beginning, but
Oh, it's
um,
good.
I don't know. I it's kind of weird to talk about yourself about this kind of a thing, but the basic details are. Um, been sober for 3.5 years.
Hell yeah.
I actually, it's kind of one of those things where years before, really around like 2019, 2020, especially, and 2021, we're like, okay, something needs to give. Like you need to do something.
COVID,
Um,
COVID hit a lot of people for sure.
yeah, like it got real bad, real quick, and then um it's just you try for a long time and it doesn't succeed. And um I know the December before I got sober, because I got sober January 2nd. The December I got sober, I was like, no, I need to do it. It's really important. I got 17 days, and then on the 18th day after work I was like, I just want a beer because I'm pretty good, like I figured it out, of course. um, And
Been
I
there.
I had a beer and I went home and I was like, nope, totally handled it. This problem is no more. And then 2 week binge, just real hard, uh, you know, shenanigans, just getting hammered and blackout drunk for a couple good weeks. And then I didn't drink New Year's Eve because I'm not a huge like St. Patty's Day, Valentine's Day. I'm sure you can understand, those types of holidays are not my favorite as far as bartending is, experience is concerned.
Oh yeah.
And so I didn't drink New Year's Eve. I like had a quiet night. But then the next day, January 1st, I just got after it. And um there was a lot of things that happened that night, like I hurt my back because I fell and just, overall shenanigans and that sort of thing. And it was that next day, the January 2nd, I was like, okay, no, this is it. Like
Yeah.
I just can't do it anymore. So
That was like the end of the road.
that
Okay.
was that was literally the end of the road. And it was kind of one of those things where like a light switch kind of, went off where before you have this idea that you need to do it, like it should happen. But that day it was just kind of like, no, this this is happening. If it doesn't happen, then, you know,
Yeah.
expect to end up somewhere, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, no. I get it. I had that whole thought of getting sober, like COVID hit, and then everyone else, because a lot of people are like, COVID was the turning point. That's when I started drinking like a lot more. For me, COVID hit, and everyone just kind of like caught up to me almost. Like I was just like drinking
Yeah,
regularly because before that I was still drinking, waking up in the morning, drinking all day. And then
yeah,
COVID hit, and I was like, yeah, finally, like I'm not completely alone in this, which
100%.
was which was not good.
No, no, not good. Do you remember the app that we had that was like we'd meet up and drink individually, but like everybody was drinking? It was like, do you remember what that
Yeah.
was
Well,
called?
yeah, you like was it an app or was it like a Facebook group?
No, it was like an app where it was like a Zoom call basically where I mean,
Oh, yeah. It was
but
like a happy hour thing.
yeah, but it was just
Yeah.
everybody all day,
People
just
are just,
for
like, out on their
months.
porches just drinking.
Yeah, for months. And like,
Oh,
at first it was good because we were all just like, what are we doing? But then, yeah, there was a couple months down the road where it was just like, oh, this is not good. This is real bad.
yeah.
But
I mean, like, they did essential like, they're like, "Alright, what are we deeming essential to?" They're like, grocery stores, hospitals, they're like, liquor stores, they should all be open.
yeah,
They're like, extend the hours. They don't have to ID anybody anymore. You don't have to wear a mask inside.
yeah,
Here's a bunch of deals.
just like, yeah, that was something. I forget what it was called, but yeah, that was a wild thing. But um, so yeah, I got that whole thing, and it's just like it was a couple years um, where I was just like trying to figure things out, and things got pretty dark. But then when I got sober on the first or on the second of 2023, um, that first month I watched so much Netflix. I watched like all the streaming shows, and I ate so much ice cream that first month that
But
it
yeah,
just
you gotta
But
replace the sugar.
yeah,
Yeah,
gotta replace the sugar and like I don't know. It was kind of it was helpful to see other people's perspectives. That's when I really started watching TikTok and like Instagram a little bit or a lot more because there were people that were kind of experiencing the same thing and kind of giving
yeah,
tips and really getting any sort of dopamine I could get that wasn't drinking was like, all right, as long as you're not drinking, it's fine.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I wish, like, because I got sober, like, a year before, and I didn't buy into TikTok or anything yet. And so, like, I wish I did because I would have been exposed to a lot more sobriety journeys. Like, I tried looking through, like, YouTube, like, I tried, like, blogs and stuff, and most of what I found was just so watered down. It was like, like, "Oh, Chardonnay housewife." She's like, "I'm off Chardonnay now," and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, like, our journeys are, like, so different. Like, you're drinking a bottle and a half of Chardonnay every day. I was
yeah.
drinking a half gallon and snorting Suboxone. Like, we're, like, so different. So, like, I always was looking for, like, somebody to relate to, and I guess that's why I'm doing this whole thing, like, and I want as many people's stories so that way if someone's looking for, like, relatable content, like, it's right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's really helpful too because when you, and this is kind of the same thing for like fitness influencers or, people that have a lot of followers, like they've done so well that they're almost kind of like a celebrity status where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, they're not like amongst the people anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So seeing people who are, seeing people who are not really good, maybe like public speaking or, um, I don't know. Like those are the type of people that I gravitated towards, especially in the beginning, because it's like, oh yeah, they're right in the same boat,
Yeah, it's
and they helped
you
a
guys are
lot.
on the same common ground, yeah.
Yeah, which yeah
Yeah.
helped a lot. So
Yeah, I mean, that's important. I just I just fucking, like, raw dogged it, I was on naltrexone, though, which I was on that for the first month, and that helped a lot.
okay,
It helps with cravings and, like, the
okay,
urges, I guess. I guess I didn't, like, notice a lot, I just didn't relapse that first, like, month,
which
and
which is big.
yeah. Yeah, because I would string together I talk about it quite a bit, but, like, I would string together, like, a month or, like, 60 days back when I was trying to get sober, and then similar to you with the beer, like, you're like, "I'm good," "I've got this figured out," and I remember one specific time, I got a job in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it was for distilling tasting room, and I was gonna be a bartender there, and I was probably like a month sober at this time. And this distilling tasting room was gonna like open up so many doors for me because they got their juniper berries from the island that I'm from. And I like helped handpick the first batch. And it was like this whole fucking, yeah, it was this whole story that could have like propelled me into a position that would have been, fantastic. And I had a fiance at the time. And I remember like sobriety was super important to her because I was a fucking mess. And I was like, all right, like I need to do this liquor tasting in order to, solidify this job. But like I was like, but I won't drive. You can drive me. I'll call you when I'm done. You can pick me up and then I won't drink after that. Sure. So I go in and I just get like fucking hammered because I taste all their shit. She comes, picks me up. I don't drink anymore that night. I go home. I don't drink again for like 2 days. And I'm like, dude, I'm the strongest person I've ever met in my entire life. Like, wow, I've single-handedly beat alcoholism.
Yeah, perfect.
And yeah, then next thing I know, I'm like, like a half gallon and a fifth deep. My pants are like down around my ankles on the couch. I can't stand up. And she's like, what happened? Oh, I have no idea. No
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. It is a wild, wild experience. I don't know. It's because it's such a slippery slope that even like as you're falling down this mountain, like you're sliding down this mountain, and shit is just getting kicked up, and you're absolutely noticing like, hey, this is bad. I should try and stop, but like it just doesn't,
Yeah.
and you're it's such a weird like it's hard to explain. And I mean, it's nice to talk to, somebody like you who gets it, but it's such a weird thing to explain to somebody of just like, yeah, I know it was bad. Like, or like talking about depression or things like that. Like, I know I'm sad, or like I have bad self-confidence. Like, I know like I'm, a piece of shit, or like whatever. Like, I get that. And you can say all the things that you want. They're not going to be as destructive as what I've already conjured up in my mind as far as, things that are going on. And, but yeah, it's still just like this force, or I don't even know, yeah, like how you describe exactly, but it's such a weird thing.
Yeah. It's like a guttural, it's almost like an instinct that, I mean, like, I don't know about you, like, I still, to this day, 4 and a half, whatever years sober, like, I still get it. Like, it
Mhm.
still comes from, like, the deepest, darkest parts of me, and it's like an instinct. Like, I'm like, "Oh, I have to drink right now." And then I'm like, "Oh, no, that's fucking stupid. Like, why do I feel like that?" It's crazy.
Yeah, and
A lot of people
well,
just
and
don't get it.
yeah, and I mean, good for them. Like, I'm sure you can agree that people who just like drink a glass of wine or like have a beer, it's like, what is that like? I don't. It's such a foreign concept to me, because even drinking non-alcoholic beers, and it could be completely just in my head, but like 6 months or even now, I'll drink a non-alcoholic beer and I'll get that taste, or know that there's alcohol in there, and just be like, ooh,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
this could go real south real quick. So I barely drink non-alcoholic beers anymore, even though like some of them are pretty similar to beer. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of bad because like I don't
I
want
do,
you.
I drink them like, when I smoke cigars or something, because it just, like, I guess, acclimates me a little bit more. 'Cause, I don't know, a lot of my thing when I'm out, and I don't know if it's similar for you, but, like, I'll go hang out with, like, a group of people or something, and, like, everyone still wants to go to bars. So, like, you either have to adapt or, like, you just don't have those friends, I guess. And we'll go, and then everyone is so fucking weird the whole time. They're like, "Oh my god, are you okay with this? Oh my, I'm such an asshole for drinking in front of you. Like, oh my god." And like everyone's like constantly touching your shoulder. And it's like, I'm
Yeah.
fucking fine. If I wasn't fine, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So like I found that if I get like a non-alcoholic beer, like they all kind of like calm down. And it
Yeah.
challenges me because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this does taste good. And then I'm like, I want more than this, but then I just have to keep the, keep the gas on.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of nice at this point where it's like it's not as much of a decision that you have to make because early on it's real tough because you're like, ooh, there's that voice in the back of your head that makes it not a yes or no question, makes it a like a maybe kind of
Yeah.
question, like a gray area type of thing, um, which was real tough in the
Yeah,
beginning.
for sure.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
actually, now that I don't know, now that I think about it, I had one watching a baseball game the other day. And that was pretty nice. But
yeah, it starts to become nice. You get a nice like non-alcoholic beer. You go out like all these places are starting to do like non-alcoholic beverage programs, which I was so fucking against it when I first got sober and I was a bar manager. Like I was like, I'm never gonna do it. I think it's cheating. I think it's a cop out. It's like I'm like, it's just like giving you that gray area where you could be like, oops, I accidentally slipped off because of this. So like I was so against it. And then I decided to do one. And I was like, this is not like I don't think it's a gray area or that anymore at all. Like I think it's like a safe haven for us. Like because I think that we all still need I mean, everyone needs like something. Everyone needs like something that's like a little bad where they're like, yeah, like I'm really living or like they can enjoy it or it reminds them of like back when we used to be able to functionally drink before it all turned a hard left. Like,
yeah,
so now I'll have an NA beer, like smoking a cigar, like you said, like watching a baseball game, and you're like, yeah, this reminds me of back when I like had it under control.
I feel like it might be just tied to the idea that you're you're not you're in a place with people and that's why you're there. You're not in a place to drink. Like the drinking is like secondary. And I think that maybe is where I feel like I went down the line because it was like you get done with a shift and you go straight to a bar and you just drink as much as you can before the night is over. Because I worked in a couple of places that were like more fine dining, so they'd be
Yeah,
done at 10 or 11 or what have you, and then you'd go to the dive bars afterwards, and you had 2 hours. You had 2 hours to just shake and bake and go nuts.
yeah,
And I think that was a lot of where things kind of fell hard was instead of going to a place to be around people that you liked or friends or whatever, you went to a place specifically just to get shit faced. So
yeah, yeah. It becomes like militant almost. Like you're like, I have a very specific job I have to do in a very specific time limit. Yeah, and then it's just like not fun anymore.
no, yeah, and that's another thing that's weird about it is towards the end of it, it's so not fun, and it's you're just like it's such a habitual thing that you have to, and that probably plays into the biochemistry or what have you. I don't know what that'd be called, but it's just like your brain craves this certain thing and you have to do it. Otherwise, it's like, well, but then I'm angry
Yeah,
or
yeah.
sad.
You're like, oh yeah, I just like got really depressed all of a sudden. I would
Yeah.
have a problem with like I'd be similar situations. I worked at a lot of places that got done earlier, and then you can go to the dive bars after. And then I'd be sitting in the dive bar like completely alone, just surrounded by strangers. I always knew the bartenders, but then, I'd be however many shots deep, fucking 9 beers deep, however, like just so many drinks deep. And then I'd be like, wow, like my entire life revolves around me pretending to be someone else to make everybody else happy. I'm like, this is crazy. And then I'm just like fucking sad as shit in the middle of everybody else having fun.
I know. God, it's so true. Well, and it's weird too because you're like, why am I why am I around other people? Because I'm just sitting here drinking by myself. Like I don't even want other people to talk to me. I just
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's so weird.
Yeah. Or I would like get out of work and the only like I'd be like, all right, I'm so excited to just go home. Like I'm so tired, like I could work like a 14-hour day and I'm like, I'm so tired, but like, oh, I have to pop into this bar really fast, but like I'm really excited to go home. I'm really excited to, relax at my house and be safe, but I gotta pop into this bar really quick. And then after you pop in the bar, like going home is the last thing that you want to do. You're like, I just want to stay here forever now. It's just crazy.
And whatever tiredness you felt goes away.
Oh yeah. Like I never slept, but I was never tired. I was never injured. I mean, I could have been.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I was never sick. Like I was other than like alcohol withdrawal sick, like I never got like the flu or anything.
yeah. No, there's only a couple of times where I got like super sick that I can remember. But when you are sick, you are yeah, it's bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember not knowing what alcohol withdrawal was yet. And I remember like starting alcohol withdrawals, like I had gotten to that point, and I just thought I was like really, really, really sick. And so like I'd call in sick places. I'd be like there and I'm like, I'm just so sick. I'm so shaky. But like all reality, I was like, this is just alcohol withdrawals.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. Definitely don't
yeah.
miss the
I miss
withdrawals
it
at all or
every day.
the just being dehydrated all the time without even knowing it.
Yeah, and just being so absent-minded about everything. It's just
Yeah.
like that. I mean, when you're driving around, you don't really think about where you're going most of the time. You're just kind of driving around. But um, just that mentality of that was every day. You wake up, you go to work, you drink, you go to bed, you wake up, and just that cyclical nature of things. And it seems fine and fun and whatnot for a while, but when you when you get to a point where you're not even participating in the thought making, it one day you kind of realize like where am I? How'd I get here?
Yeah.
Kind of situation. And I mean, part of it is kind of terrifying because you know, in the moment you're like, well, I could never be an alcoholic or I could never be an addict or, whatever. When you're, 25 or 7 or however old, and then all of a sudden you're 30, 39. Like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, what happened? It's scary.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you get into that cycle, you get into that like just built-in routine that you have no say in anymore. And then, I mean, that's basically just prison. Like you're just in prison technically because you have no say in anything. You're not happy. You're just doing stuff because you're like, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you used to bartend, right? You don't anymore?
Used to bartend, don't anymore. I did for the first about 6 months, and um, actually, thankfully, the place that I was working at closed down because I probably would have continued working for a while. But there should have been writing on the wall like months ago, that hey, you're miserable. You need to stop. This isn't working. You need to find something different.
Yeah.
Um, just because I was grumpy and angry at people, and I'd get mad when people would show up. Like, oh God, now I have to like pretend to care. Just,
Yeah.
looking back, it's like, oh, that's what are you doing? What's going on? So I stopped doing that, and then was unemployed for a while. And actually, after that, I became a 911 operator, which I did for a little bit, for about a year. But
Nice.
um, couldn't hack that. I like the 911 part was fine, but it's just police dispatch was not for me. So
Yeah,
um,
it's got to be a tough job.
yeah, it was. It's rough. I mean, kudos to anybody can do that, and a lot of respect for anybody can do that kind of that. They can do that job. Um, but now my goal is to get back into the thing that I went into college for, which is athletic training, personal training, um, that kind of thing. Because how much movement has improved things
Oh yeah.
is astronomical, and it's interesting because it took me about 2.5 years into sobriety to figure out, hey, like not drinking is great, but that's chapter one on a 50 chapter novel that you need to kind of figure out. And so it took a little bit longer than maybe it should have or what have you, but
Oh, I just
walking,
figured this out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like I just started eating better and like working out.
yeah. But walking is such a big thing for me. And
Yeah.
I mean, I would much prefer to walk with headphones and like listen to music and things like that. But every once in a while, I'd force myself to walk without anything and just to walk and stop every once in a while and listen and kind of pay attention to
Yeah.
what things were going on because they're just kind of reinforcing the idea of like, no, you're making decisions on what you're doing. And I think, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Keeps you present too. I think being present and in the present is so important.
yeah, 100%. And worrying about the past or being anxious about the future is it puts you in that tunnel vision of you know oh, now I need a buffer, now I need a drink, now I need something to hold my hand while I try and process this whole thing. And
Yeah.
it I mean, it really is kind of like a muscle that you have to work at to get better at. And it sucks and it's hard, but I don't know, there's just not a lot else you can do to be proactive about it, I guess.
I got dogs. I got
Mm.
two of the most like hyper breed dogs there is. That keeps me pretty active. Just like baseline. And then yeah, I mean a lot bartending, like still being in the industry, just getting that exercise without having to think that you're exercising is huge. Cause I mean you're just getting steps, like you're on your feet, like you're working stuff that most people like don't work out.
Yeah, and I mean, even like shaking and changing kegs and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff too. Like that's all exercise. Like one of my goals is to kind of take the focus of the idea that in order to be like fit, you have to go to a gym or you have to do these things. It's like you just need to move around, find some way to move. Like there's a couple, you know, um, people that I've seen like their pages are great because they're like, yeah, don't think so hard about it or don't put too much emphasis on going to a gym. It's more of like just find a way to move, you know,
Yeah.
in whatever capacity you can. So
Yeah, I hate running. Like I've always hated running. I used to be, high school athlete and stuff, like hated running, hated getting into shape. So I started before basketball, like I would play soccer. I would join the soccer team because that would just get me running and I wouldn't think about it because like I'm doing other stuff and like having fun. And like even now, like I don't run, but I'll play basketball and
oh yeah,
it's also, like 110 degrees outside in Arizona. So it definitely
yeah,
humbles you out too.
jeez, gross. Uh, yeah, but no, that's I mean that's a great point of finding a distraction so that you're exercising, you're moving, but you're not like it's not the thing that you're doing. Because yeah, I ran a marathon once, and I mean I might do it again, but I don't know.
That's a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
huge
a
though.
lot. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
But I understand the whole like being like it's like you're almost like jaded too when you start bartending in sobriety. Like I hated it. Like I started bartending again because I thought that it was like restaurants have been the only thing that have really made sense to me, the only thing that like I've enjoyed. And then bartended after getting sober after a few months, and I was like, "This sucks. Like people suck. I hate it. Everyone else can drink and I can't drink. Like this is so fucking stupid."
Yeah,
And then I was jaded like that for a while, and then I read Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara, and he talks like it's all about the guest experience and like how it's so important for the guests and like all this stuff. And it actually like reinvigorated me. And now I have a blast because like I don't know. I think that this whole like sobriety online thing has helped me too because I'm a lot more like real and raw as a person. So I don't really have a customer service facade anymore. Like people don't come in. I'm like, oh well, gee willikers, look at you. Like, how the heck are you? Like I'm like, like how's it going? And then I'm super fucking honest about everything. And
yeah.
then I think that that kind of like brings down a lot of barriers between the service staff and the guests. And I think a lot of people are just more in the moment and a lot like there's everyone's like raw and it's nice.
That makes a lot of sense. I think having an avenue to kind of be both sides of the coin too, so you can get this side of out or this side of it out, but then also, I mean, like I sometimes miss bartending in the sense that I miss just talking to people, shooting the breeze, kind of a thing. Although I will say this, the the first couple of months after I got sober, it was probably good that I was still bartending because I was seeing it on a day to day basis of like the shenanigans and people getting
Yeah.
a little too tipsy and like they looked and sounded like an idiot and I think it was a week after I uh decided I was going to be like go for real sobriety. I broke up a fight at the bar that I was working at, and I mean, I'd been working there for years. I had never seen anything close to a fight. And it was just like, it was just kind of like that. Okay, yes, remember, see, this is why we're doing this, is because you don't want to act and be, um, stupid or, get out of your head or whatever you want to call it, like those people. So, I mean, that was kind of nice. But I do kind of miss the bartending or just like the, camaraderie of bartending, like working with somebody and just getting through a shift, like a really busy shift. And there's parts of it that I definitely do miss.
Yeah. Like yeah, the restaurant industry just in itself, like if you run, I think I talked about it before, but like anywhere you're at in the world, if you run into other restaurant industry people, like you're instantly connected. Like
Yeah.
I've met complete strangers out in the world at grocery stores, like whatever, gas stations, and they're also restaurant industry. And then like there's an instant like you just made a huge connection and it's I've never seen anything like it. Like I've never been a part of anything like it. It's crazy. It's probably one of the best industries as far as like the camaraderie or like the just being on a level playing ground I've seen.
Yeah, it's that, I don't need to know a single thing about you, and we could talk for hours on kind of, either shift or not shift stuff because you get it. Like there's that common wavelength of like, man, I've seen some shit, you've seen some shit, and we got through it.
Yeah,
Let me tell you about this, person that I had the other day, and that kind of stuff. Like, I, I, I would imagine it's similar to like nursing, um, or like a teacher to a degree. But I mean, I think nursing is like I have a lot of respect for people who can be a nurse because,
me too.
yeah,
I think it's one of the hardest jobs. That and like yeah, teaching.
yeah, 100%,
Super underrated.
yeah, super undervalued.
Yeah.
Um, but like, I would imagine it's kind of the same where y- you just, like, because hospital work and dealing with people at their worst or at their best, I don't know, you see a lot of honesty in strangers, I think, in bartending and I would assume with nursing too, um, and other kind of fields like that, where you're like, people have to be honest with you, or
Yeah.
people just feel the need to be honest with you, and
Yeah.
you see a side of people that you just don't see.
You see a lot of vulnerability
Mm,
at both places, which, yeah, I think that's I think that's huge in a super, like, non-vulnerable world, or at least, like, everyone's constantly trying to not be vulnerable.
yeah, uh, with how much or how readily available it is to not show your true face. Because
Yeah.
even like on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, like you can be a what's the word where you seem real or authentic. Like the idea that you can shoot a video and like show authenticity, but like camera on, camera off, you could be totally different. But when you're seeing somebody face to face, it's you can't. And
Yeah,
I
it's hard to
like
hide.
I can see how you're feeling or what you're feeling or um, so yeah, it's very interesting as far as that goes.
Yeah. So you also write songs?
I do. I write songs that I mean, like yeah, anybody else, you're writing a song to tell a story. A lot of the songs I write are based off of sobriety or depression or I'm working on that one happy song. Well, one of these days, I swear we'll get there. But um, it started actually in the 2020 when we were shut down and I didn't have a whole lot going on and a friend of mine and I recorded an album in 2014, but life happens, so we put it on a
Yeah.
shelf and you know I was sitting around, I was like, I didn't have a whole lot going on, and um, there was something where I was working at FedEx as like a night shift shipping, just kind of throwing boxes around kind of a thing. And on my way to work, I stumbled upon this guy who was like walking around in the middle of the road and um, stopped and was like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, I was kind of mad because he's in the middle of the road and it was at night. I almost hit him and I was mad and, regretfully, but he was like, I just tried to kill myself. And I was like, you know, okay. So I pulled over and like called 911 and, he had like a razor and like it ended up being okay in that, he got transported and hopefully he got the help he needed. But like, it was that moment I was like, man, what am I doing? And this is kind of, precursor to like everything else in sobriety and things like that. And um, we had these songs that, we recorded and I was just like, you know what? I want to go back to that because that's something that I want to do. And there's a song that we added a cello to it and we finished the recording, we put it out, um, which was super fun. But it was that writing that cello part was like, oh, this is nice. I like this. This is like meticulous kind of work, and I can put a lot of time and I can put a lot of effort into it. And I found a program that you can write anything from like a string quartet to full orchestra. And so
Yeah.
I just dove deep into that, and so I've been doing that for years. And at first it's kind of rough because you're just putting in a note, and I played instruments and drums and things like that, so I know how to read music and like I can kind of plink on a piano or dabble on a guitar or whatever. But in the beginning, it's like I have this melody in my head, man, no, that's not the right note. Man, no, that's not the right note. And it just like it's like this forever process. But it was really cathartic, and then I was just like, you find it, you got to keep, plinking along, and yeah. So now it's just, it's really nice, like hobby, like I would love to ultimately like I would love to record with live players because I think like that's the goal with music is you want it to be heard live. I mean,
Yeah,
um, at least that's how I stand with that sort of thing. And so yeah, we got a couple songs out there, and um, they're fun to do. And there's one I would invite you to check out. It's on YouTube and it's called About to Be, and it's basically a video of the whole process of getting sober and like where
oh
it
shit.
started and um, kind of in the beginning it's rough. There's only a couple lyrics, but it's the beginning of like you're drinking heavily and you're going through some things, and then there's a middle part where it's like a piano and there's a picture of a plant and it's just time lapse, um, and it's the section I called it laundry day because when when you have to do laundry or like you have a task that you have to do, but you're just like, I do not want to do this. This is the last thing that I want to do. But then you do it and it ends up taking you 15 minutes and you're like, well,
Yeah.
what was the big deal?
Oh,
Like,
always. That's like all my chores. I'm like, oh my God. Like this
why
is
did it?
worse than death.
Yeah. But at the time, it's like there's no way that I could possibly feasibly do this task. And there's a couple notes in there that I put that are wrong on purpose because when you hear a wrong note, it like makes you sour a little bit. And so it's just kind of that feeling of like, I didn't like that. And it's like, yeah, no, this music shouldn't sound good, kind of.
Yeah, but it's like it's raw. It's like you're telling that story and you want to convey it to the audience.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
yeah. So, um,
Yeah, definitely
but-
send me the link too. And then when this goes live, which will be Friday, like
okay.
I'll put all of your links and everything
Oh,
in the descriptions.
awesome. Yeah, I'll throw some of the major songs and the one that I recorded the cello part for because that song, when we recorded it in 2014, I wrote it about my drinking and like the problem that I had in 2014. So
And
it's
that
like,
was the app even back then.
yeah. So even back then, it's like you're, it's like it eventually could, maybe eventually it could be a problem kind of a thing. I don't think it
Yeah.
was. I think I knew right then that like, no, this is bad. But,
Yeah.
um,
I had a girlfriend in my early 20s, like when I was like 19 until like 23, I think. And her dad was from the same island I am. And she like wouldn't let me drink the whole time we were together. Like anytime I tried to drink, like because growing up and everything, where I grew up, like drinking was so just regular. So like you just like did it. And whenever
mhm,
I would try to just like do it, she'd be like, no. And it was a whole like back and forth. And I specifically remember her like telling me, it was like it's like ingrained in my brain. She was like, you are an alcoholic. Like you will be an alcoholic if you drink. It's gonna like take you over. It's gonna happen. And forever, shout out to Katie Martin, because Katie Martin nailed that right on the head. Like she knew it before I even started really drinking. She could smell it on me. It's crazy.
yeah. And I mean, like, bless her for trying, but oh, how frustrating is that when somebody tells you that right to your face and you won't listen to it because you're like, no way,
Yeah.
no way, I'm better than that. Like, ain't happening. But like, And I don't know. You can say otherwise, but I imagine that she was pretty cordial about it at first, at least, of like, hey, I just like I care about you, so like I'm just saying, you know.
Oh yeah. No, she was probably like super nice and like loving about it. But I think even then, like I had that alcoholic blood in me that just misconstrued everything she was saying. Like I'm sure that in my head, like as it was happening, she had like a witch's hat on and like thunder and lightning, and it was like,
Uh,
maniacal
yeah,
laughter. It was sinister.
yeah,
But in all reality, she's probably like, I just love you so much, Brian. Like, please don't do this to me.
I know. Like I just want to care and whatnot. Yeah, it's oh man. So
Yeah.
therapy,
But
highly
yeah,
recommend.
but therapy for sure. I'd highly recommend it too. Um, no, like I would like to say that I wish I had listened to her, and I wish I, was just sober through it all. But like in all reality and all honesty, and I've sat with this a lot and thought about it, I am super grateful that I went through what I went through, and I'm super grateful that I was a full-blown alcoholic and addict, because I think that that shaped me to who I am today. I think that having to go through something as terrible as, full-blown dependent alcoholism, and then having to go through so many attempts at sobriety, and then finally getting to sobriety, relearning who I am, like all of this, I think that like, instilled a lot more empathy in me. I think it instilled a lot more just kindness, patience. Like I think me becoming an alcoholic made me who I am today. And like I think I would have been a fucking asshole. Like judging by how I was when I was like 22, I think I would have been a fucking asshole by now.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point. Of like, you never wish these things on other people, but yeah, I agree with you that it would be easy to look back and say like, I wish that I just never won. Oh, sorry, I
You
got
cut
you
out.
there.
Yeah.
Um, the easy part is like how we got here in the first place, like wanting to take that easy road. And so yeah, I agree with you. Um, it it was terrible and it sucked, but yeah, there's a lot of life lesson to be learned. And I mean, it's unfortunate it took as long as it did, but you drive
Here
yourself
we are.
nuts thinking about what could have or should have been, years ago, and then you lose even more time thinking about what could have been if you just no, that's what it was, that's what happened. Here we are. Let's, moving forward, let's try and do better. So,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and here we are. Look at us. Have you ever seen
here,
The Paul Rudd meme where he's like, "Look at us. Who would have thought?"
a couple of Bryans just hanging out.
Uh-huh. Couple of
Uh,
Bryans who are more patient and empathetic and overall understand the world a lot more.
yeah, which is good and bad. Uh, I think it's just yeah. I think
Yeah.
with getting back into fitness, there's a lot of parallels with getting back into fitness as your sobriety, and that just one day at a time, little wins. Give yourself some grace and stop looking at what other people are doing or how they're succeeding, and just focus on yourself. Um,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think that
so
it's important to, if you're looking to do like so many sets of something, or you're like, I'm gonna do a full workout today, and you just do like a little bit, you have to look at it like, hey, that's better than not doing anything at all.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even if you don't do anything at all, like
it's
that's
okay.
still fine. Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, I think
Still gonna wake up tomorrow.
yeah. What is it? Is the every day you're given two choices, or every day you're given two things: a choice and a chance. I think I'm gonna throw out some, quote or something. I've always liked that.
That's a good one. One quote I heard that I think is probably one of my favorite quotes to this day. I was general managing a restaurant and it was end of the night and this just absolute asshole comes in. And like I'm not saying he's an asshole because he came in before we closed or anything, but like when you think of if Ed Hardy is a person, like that guy came in. He's like the guy from the early YouTube videos, the Jaeger bomb guy. He's like the Jaeger bomb
Okay.
guy.
Okay.
And he
Yes.
comes in
No.
and he's talking to our bartender about like, like all the girls he's had sex with and like how some of them are ugly and that's okay. Like you got to put a paper bag. Like he's just like a terrible guy. But I remember like tuning him out because I was like, yeah, I don't need to listen to anything this fucking guy has to say. And I'm just gonna go about the rest of my night. And then he was talking about working out, but he said the quote, he said, yeah, he's like, yeah, bro, flexibility is more important than strength. And I like clicked and I was like, oh fuck. Like, holy shit. Yeah, you're spitting bars out there. And I was like, that applies to like everything. Cause he was just talking about like being flexible as far as like working out is more important than being like really, really strong. But like in all reality, like if you're flexible in anything, that's like more important than you being really, really good at something.
Huh.
Yeah, fucking still sits with me. That Jaeger bomb guy.
God damn it. It's just like the dropping pearls of wisdom, and oh man, weird. But
Yeah,
no, that's huh. It's pretty good. That's pretty
I have it. I have that shit like written down on painter's tape, like stuck all over my apartment. Like, I'm like, this guy changed my entire life, and he has no idea.
good. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, the amount of impact that you can have on a person in just like an instant, and they may never know. And I mean, in all actuality, they probably will never know. And we could go down a rabbit hole with that kind of conversation for a while, but we'll 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 not do that on day one. I think that would be a little
Yeah,
they're a little aggressive.
this is
Uh,
gonna be another time.
yeah. But no, Brian, I appreciate you setting this up, and I think this is really helpful for people. I mean, I know like in the beginning for me, like seeing different perspectives from different people and not zhuzhing it up to be some you know glorified thing. I think is really nice because then it makes it more attainable. It makes it more realistic, and somebody can see it's like the cliches are cliches for a reason, just one day at a
Yeah.
time, and that kind of a thing. But no, this is really appreciated. So thank you.
No, yeah, dude, I really appreciate you taking the time. And then, yeah, we'll have to set up another one so we can talk about the rabbit hole.
Oof, lots of rabbit holes,
Uh
man.
huh.
When you don't drink and like when you have time to think about other things, I tell you what, there's a lot of fun stuff to
Clutch.
think about.
Yeah, clutch.
Some of it's not so fun. Uh, but again,
Yeah.
that's for another time, I think.
All right. Well, yeah, Brian, send me all of your stuff and
Okay.
I will attach it to the videos in the podcast. If anybody wants to follow Brian here, how do you say it's Quagwise Gamgee?
Quigwise.
Quigwise Gamgee,
So, yeah. So
which
the
is that Qui-Gon Jinn and Samwise Gamgee?
no, it's my last name. Like I have a lot of nicknames, and the friend of mine who recorded that album with me, he gave me that nickname, and it's Samwise Gamgee is like the best character in Lord of the Rings,
Yeah,
obviously.
absolutely.
But no, it's just he took part of my last name and put it on there, and it's like, hey, that's pretty clever. We like that, and we like Sam, so
Yeah.
there we
Mhm.
go.
Dope name. People just call me Bryan,
Don't sell
which is
yourself
not as
short.
cool.
That's a good name. That's a good name.
All right, Brian. Well, thank
All
you
right.
so much, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No, I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Have a good
Yeah, I'll stay in touch. Bye.